Hello and welcome. This presentation will focus on GlaxoSmithKline consumer healthcare products, looking at the consumer insight and behaviour that affects how the following GSK products, Nicorette, Voltaren and Sensodyne, are marketed. The decision-making and involvement, motivation and cultural influences will all be looked at and applied to one of these brands. Furthermore, these three products will be compared and contrasted with other competitors or alternatives that are also available for consumers to purchase. Cultural influence is the learning and the habitual decisions made within a society. These traits are passed down through a series of rituals or social normalities. Cultural influences tend to vary from one region or country to another. For example, the number of adults who smoke tobacco in France was recorded at 30.1% in 2016, while in the UK it was at 20%. It can be argued that because smoking is more deeply embedded in French culture, less has been done to reduce the number of adults that smoke. In comparison to the UK, which has seen an increase in taxation of tobacco that has resulted in a greater decline of adult smokers. Hofstede defines culture as the accumulation of shared meanings, rituals, norms and traditions. The following three slides will each look at how the cultural influence of smoking tobacco is combated by Nicorette and how the product is pushed by GlaxoSmithKline, the underlying dimensions of culture, the culture production system, promotion and communication and pricing. The underlying dimensions of culture are made up of three areas: values, social norms and rituals. All three of these areas can be applied to the Nicorette product. The recent negative shift in social values of smoking tobacco have promoted many smokers to attempt to quit and therefore use Nicorette products in order to promote more positive core values. Ritual behavioural habits in consumers play an important role when a substance product such as Nicorette must be continuously taken by the consumer in order to obtain success. Rituals require full consumer engagement, as rituals do not tend to be a cognitive action such as breathing. Rituals require repetition in order to become habitual. Therefore, in order to ensure repetition, consumers must be reminded of the negative outcomes of smoking. Social normalities over the last 3 years have drastically changed. With greater negative shift towards smoking tobacco, it is now more common not to smoke. Therefore, more smokers are trying to give up cigarettes by using products such as Nicorette. The culture production system influences industries to push new products in order to prevent a cultural backlash due to a stagnant market caused by singular products. Nicorette has been influenced by the culture production system to offer as much choice as possible to those that are trying to quit smoking. Currently, the brand offers 7 products to consumers. The CPS is made up of 3 subsystems. The creative subsystem would be the company GSK or brand Nicorette pushing new products. For example, the Quick Mist mouth spray. The managerial subsystem would be the distributors of the products, such as the pharmacies like Boots. Finally, the communications subsystem would comprise of those in charge of making the new product and informing consumers of this product. Nicorette look to promote themselves as a brand that likes healthy lifestyles. Because of this, Nicorette has sponsored sports teams since the 1990s through to today. For example, the brand is a main sponsor of many yacht racing teams. made by consumers from first seeing a product to purchasing and using that product. This process, however, has many different forms. For example, limited and extended problem solving can be the difference between buying everyday household items such as bread and butter, as opposed to making high financial investments in either a car or property. Voltaren, GSK consumer healthcare product that relieves pain in muscles and joints, coming in a variety of products from gels to tablets. The following slides will look at 3 specific areas of the decision-making process: problem solving, high and low involvement, and the cognitive decision-making process. Finally, other contrasts between Voltaren and the brand competitors will be looked at. Each time a consumer makes the decision, he or she will primarily take one of 3 routes: routine response behavior, limited problem solving, and extended problem solving. When consumers are purchasing muscular pain relief products, a lot of thought must go into their decision. Firstly, this is because of the number of competitors there are, Biofreeze and Joint Ace to name a few. Secondly, when taking any kind of pain relief, consumers must be aware of the drugs that are in the products, especially if they are already taking prescription painkillers. And finally, the price. These 3 factors would suggest that when consumers purchase a product like Voltaren, they would follow the extended problem-solving routine to make their decision. High and low involvement decision-making process is an everyday process consumers experience subconsciously. High involvement theory requires a lot of thought from the consumer before purchase. An example of this: purchasing a new house. On the other hand, low involvement are small subconscious decisions, such as what kind of milk to buy. The purchase of Voltaren would fall in the middle of high and low involvement theory. The problem recognition would be the initial pain in a muscle or joint, followed by the search for products to combat this physical pain. Finally, the consumer will have made a choice based on factors such as price and purchased one of the Voltaren products that suits their specific needs. Furthermore, Mancini says, certain executional cues may influence central route and peripheral processing of both high and low involvement consumers. However, the direction of this influence may depend on both the specific characteristic of the cue. For example, this 2016 Voltaren commercial in Australia highlights the cue for consumers, showing the everyday physical acts performed that could cause muscular pain and require Voltaren to quickly combat in order to prevent discomfort. The cognitive decision-making process occurs after a consumer recognizes a problem in their day-to-day life and is made up of 5 stages: the initial problem recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, product choice, and outcome. Wang describes this process as the basic cognitive process of human behaviors, by which a preferred option or course of action is chosen from among a set of alternatives based on certain criteria. The importance of the cognitive decision-making process is how it can be positively or negatively affect consumer opinions on either brands or products. For example, in 2017, GlaxoSmithKline was found guilty of misspelling the product Voltaren Osteogel to appear effective for osteoarthritis in order to charge consumers a higher price premium. The negative backlash has high potential of affecting future consumers during the cognitive decision-making process, as they may prefer other competitors such as Biofreeze due to the risk of being overcharged for a GSK product. Over the last 10 years, Voltaren has come under a lot of criticism from researchers around the world. As mentioned previously, in 2017, it was found to be mis-selling certain products in order to charge a higher price premium. Other more serious medical implications for the product include having cardiovascular risks for consumers. A medical report written by Henry and McGuigan found that Voltaren contains diclofenac, which can cause individuals to have a higher risk of having cardiovascular episodes. While today Voltaren is the most popular gel for consumers with muscular aches and pains, the recent criticism has allowed for competitors such as Joint Ace to grow in popularity by offering a product that does not contain diclofenac. Newman states that motivation research represents an attempt to apply systematically the accumulated knowledge of human behavior and the analytical concepts and research methods of such behavioral sciences as psychology, sociology, and social anthropology to the buying behavior of individuals and groups. Consumer motivation can be split into needs and wants. There are 4 fundamental consumer needs: biogenic needs, utilitarian needs, hedonic needs, and phytogenic needs. Looking at the GSK consumer healthcare product Sensodyne, the following motivational aspects will be looked at: push theory, unconscious needs, and the Herzberg two-factor theory. Finally, contrasting the product Sensodyne to other competitors. Hull's push theory looks at the sequence of events that consumers go through in order to achieve an equal balance in life once they have noticed something is missing. For example, looking at this Sensodyne ad for sensitive teeth, the tension would be the consumers who have suffered from sensitive teeth. Using the ice lolly as a reminder for a lot of consumers that have experienced this problem as the strong drive. The drive direction is offering the Sensodyne product as the solution for this issue. The results in the consumers wanting this product in order to prevent tooth sensitivity. The following behavior will be consumers purchasing the advertised product, and finally consumer tooth sensitivity has decreased after use. Freud's theory splits the conscious and unconscious into 3 sections: ego, superego, and ID. The ego is the reality around the consumer. The superego is the consumer's morality, and the ID is the consumer's instincts. All 3 of these areas can be influenced by marketing in order for a positive effect on consumer behavior. Sensodyne would rely on consumers' superego in order to drive sales. This is because the superego is implemented at the childhood stages to ensure standards are maintained through adolescence. This would be making sure to brush your teeth twice a day to uphold healthy teeth and gums. Herzberg theory is split into 2 areas: motivators and hygiene, also known as demotivators. While both motivators and demotivators can both be applied in the workplace, they can also be used in product marketing in order to ensure positive consumer behavior and give consumers a reason to purchase a product like Sensodyne again. The motivator for Sensodyne is the assurance that their product will reduce sensitivity in teeth and prevent gum issues. This motivator is then supported by being clinically proven. This can be seen in the Sensodyne packaging and shown on the product's website homepage as shown. In 2018, the toothpaste market alone was valued at $26.09 billion worldwide, with an expected growth of $10.9 billion by 2024. This clearly shows how competitive the market is and enforces the importance for companies such as GlaxoSmithKline to utilize the correct marketing techniques and pay attention to consumer behaviors to maintain brand dominance when competing with other brands such as Colgate.